You're listening to The Money Hour with your host, Tina Mitchell, on Alternative Talk 1150 AM. Now, back to the show with local mortgage expert, Tina Mitchell.
You are listening to The Money Hour at 1150 AM. KKNW, the Saturday, April 9th show. You can also listen to my podcast, Facebook premiere, or you can catch my show on my show YouTube channel. In addition, for more information on upcoming events, you can go to tinamitchellevents.com. I am your host and local mortgage expert, Tina Mitchell. I bring into studio each week the best of the best experts in our local market on everything regarding your money. Now in studio, we have back Hollie Whaley of K&H Coaching, Mind Your Business, right here on 1150 AM KKNW. Thank you again for being here on the show, Hollie.
Thank you for having me. It's wonderful.
Absolutely. So Hollie, let's go ahead and start out with what is an entrepreneur business coach? Share a little bit more about what you do.
Sure. So coaching is really given to us so that we can help partner with clients, businesses, or entrepreneurs. I work a lot with entrepreneurs just starting their businesses as well as small business owners. So I partner with them to really begin to explore opportunities for growth in their business. And what are some of the blind spots that might keep them from continually growing? So that's really what a coach does. A coach comes in and helps you evaluate some of those areas where you might not see some of the challenges you're having.
Yeah. So when should a business owner or entrepreneur engage with a coach?
Immediately.
Yes.
Immediately. So I think one of the biggest challenges that I see a lot is that they wait to hire a business coach because they're not really sure what the quality will be or what to expect. And so it becomes, they get down a road, then they get stuck, then they hire a coach. And if they hire a coach immediately, then they can partner with them and work through some of the roadblocks and challenges that they might be facing, even as they get ready to start their business. And so that's really important for people to do.
So to be able to avoid the mistakes that are common, you can go through those and have the solutions to ensure that they don't come up. Yeah, absolutely. So let's talk about what you can expect from a coach, Hollie.
Yeah, so I think every coach, depending on what type of coach you engage, you can expect different things, right? But one thing that's very common is that a coach is going to help you explore areas within yourself and your business that needs to be addressed so that you can be the best version of you and your business can be the best version that it can be. And so when you engage with a coach, you have to keep an open mind. You have to be ready for change, and you have to be ready to kind of address some of the challenges that maybe you know are there, but you don't really want to address. And so those are some of the things to expect when you start working with a coach.
Yeah. I always say that you have to take the hard road. The hard road represents change. You've got to be willing to go down that road so that you can get to easy street, which is guaranteed to follow if you embrace change. So what is one of the greatest challenges, Hollie, for an entrepreneur when launching their business?
I think there's a couple of things, but one common denominator that I have found with individuals wanting to start their businesses is that they get very overwhelmed. And through the process, they begin to doubt their vision, they begin to doubt themselves, they begin to doubt everything. And so just like you said, take the hard road. Sometimes it's a bumpy road. It doesn't always look the way you want it to look. But as you continue through the process, then you'll be able to see your dream fulfilled and really where you want to be. And a lot of people get stuck in the process. And they get so overwhelmed by the process that they just kind of put it in a nice little box and leave it on a shelf. And then they begin to wonder why they don't feel fulfilled in their life. And there's this box of dreams sitting on a shelf that it got too hard or difficult, and they just set it aside. And that is so common. For everybody that I have worked with that are aspiring entrepreneurs that are launching their business, that's what we face. And so I actually just finished a book that is called Business Essentials, and it's a practical guide for individuals that want to know how to start a business, and then they get tripped up through the process. And so it's just kind of takes them through some of the thought-provoking questions to ask yourself as you start this business, and really making sure that you're prepared in different aspects to launch successfully.
And like you said, the best time to hire a coach is as soon as you're putting your business together, because really having that that support, that mentor, and that person externally or on the outside of the emotional piece of it, and the experience of helping many business owners take their business to the next level and get started. That's why it's important. So you have that support. So, Hollie, what do you believe causes so many small businesses to fail?
Yeah. So one of the trends that I continue to see, and the statistics are unbelievable when you look at how many small businesses will fail within the first 5 years. So only a small percentage will make it, right? And what I continue to see is that people have a dream, they want to start a business. They do start a business. A lot of them start it with a craft, right? So maybe they like to bake cakes, or they like to decorate cakes. And so they start a bakery and they do really well, but then they don't know the business. Yeah. They don't know how to market. They don't know how to balance their books. They don't know how to manage the money, all of those different components that make a business run. And so when it gets beyond their craft, they don't know how to mind their business. And so they either turn it over to somebody else and sell it because they don't know what to do and they can't make it grow anymore, or they're working endless hours, and then things are falling apart and they're afraid to hire people. And so really, when you start seeing small businesses fail, it's because they don't have somebody that's helping them on the business side. Yeah, and it's okay to really hire people where you are not strong. Yeah. Right? Like, hire for your weaknesses. I say that all the time. I partner with people that have strengths that are different than mine. Mm-hmm. If there's an area where I feel like I can't compete, I hire somebody, get somebody in that can do that, because we won't be perfect at every part of our business, but we can have a perfect business when we partner with the right people.
Yeah, one of my core practices is embracing your strengths and hiring out your weaknesses, owning multiple businesses, and even more importantly than that, having the time, energy, resources, finances to create programs to give back to my community. There is no possible way that I could do it without embracing my strengths and hiring out my weaknesses. Do what you love to do and hire everything else. And that's hire everything else out. And that's another thing, Hollie, and really why you need a coach too, is, how do you hire those people? How do you manage those people? How do you retain those people is an important part of the process as well. So Hollie, how can you ensure that continued success as an entrepreneur or as a business owner? So how do you ensure that continued success is sustainable?
Yeah, sure. So I think when we look at success, first of all, we have to define success. So for everybody, success looks different. And so you define your success and what your success means, and don't look at other people's successes and define by that. So define your success, and then you'll know if you're meeting the mark or not, right? But you also continue to learn and continue to grow. And I tell my clients all the time, your business can't grow beyond your capacity of growth. And so if you're not continually learning, your business will not continue to grow. And so we have to make sure that success is defined. And then as you work towards that, you continue to grow and mature in your business.
Yeah. And success changes. I mean, we're in different seasons of our business. I've been in the mortgage industry for over a quarter century and in the top 1% in the nation. And, my maintaining the level of business that I'm doing, but now in a season that, I work 4 days a week. I'm available and accessible, but I work 4 days a week because we've got a grandbaby. So we babysit on Friday and, I travel 5 or 6 times a year. And so it's a different season than the grind season that I was in, but maintaining the same level of financial success that you take all those years to work on. So yes, really important to find out what success is to you right now in this season of your career. So Hollie, what keeps you personally grounded?
So what keeps me personally grounded is my children. And my husband. They remind me frequently, right? But also just working with entrepreneurs, I always remember where I started. And so helping them to understand the different seasons of their business and how things will trend up and things will trend down. And it keeps me grounded and remembering when things don't look the way I want it to either, just to, continue on the hard road, as you said.
And yeah, remembering where you, and that's why I created my Tragedy to Triumph. It's my keynote that I share with organizations, complimentary, is, remembering where I came from. And, because we all go through tragedies and we all can have triumphs on the other side. If you stay grounded, you remember where you come from, you embrace the journey, the good and the bad in that journey. So yeah, really, really exciting stuff for sure. Hollie, what was your greatest struggle to success?
Me.
I
was my greatest struggle.
I love that answer. So how did you get over yourself then?
I hired a coach, several of them, right?
Yeah.
So, really, it was me, my mindsets, and I had to do the work to really understand who I am, what was stopping me, because everybody can get to the same level of success, but we have to believe that. And there are things because of our past, because of our lives, life has happened that causes us to create these roadblocks and even comments made. I mean, I had to go back to, one time when I was 12 years old and my dad made a comment about his best friend who was a salesman, and that hindered me from wanting to do sales for years, right? And it was just and it was a joke. It wasn't even a true statement, but something in my 12-year-old brain said, I'm not going to do that ever. Right. And it stopped me. And so I had to really do the work to say, I have to get beyond this. I have to face my fears and move forward. And so I definitely am my biggest, and I will say continue to be, right? I continue to do the work because I find areas where I stop myself a lot.
Absolutely. So if you're listening to the show right now and my conversation with Hollie, this is the biggest takeaway. Your greatest barrier to success is yourself. And if you can cross that barrier, if you can embrace your fears, you can reach the same level of success that the best of the best in the entire world have had. It's all about learning to become your best self, embracing yourself at the highest level, and moving forward through those fears and using those fears as your opportunities, because every triumph you have more adrenaline and you have more fighting spirit than you do in the biggest challenges that you are going to see in your business, in your life. That is when you're the strongest. but only if you know how to use the adrenaline. Otherwise, that adrenaline is going to take you down. So great, great takeaway for my listeners, Holly. Thank you so much for that. All right, we have less than a minute to wrap up the show, but I would love to ask you one final question. How do you define success?
So I define success by when my clients are successful. So when I hear the success stories of my clients, then I have hit success. And that is truly what I measure it on. And that is what I want to continue to measure it on. I mean, of course, I do like my sales. I like having the financial security that comes along with it. But really and truly, success for me is when my clients are successful.
Yeah, well, and it's true, Holly. When you come from a place of contribution, the monetize just figures itself out. And when you have
It does.
confidence that that financial piece and whatever monetize looks like to you is a given, when you come from a place of contribution and supporting your community, that's a game changer. Holly, thank you so much for joining me in studio. Love the conversation that we had, and I know my listeners are enjoying it as well.
Thank you. It's great to be here.